This is ChestertonRadio.com.
And here's the cinnamon bell.
I wonder what's happening to Judy and Jimmy and the Cinnamon Bear. They lost the Silver Star again when the Crazy Quilt Dragon jumped into the root beer ocean, and as though that weren't bad enough, they were captured by the Inkaboos, strange people made out of blotting paper with their faces drawn on in ink. Crazy Quilt escaped, but the rest of our brave expedition was led before King Blotto III, accused of violating all sorts of Inkaboo laws, and finally condemned to be thrown into the immense inkwell. Now we find Judy and Jimmy and the Cinnamon Bear completely surrounded by Inkaboos, standing on the brink of the immense inkwell.
Jimmy, hold my hand. I'm scared.
Dearie me, this inkwell really is immense and black as pitch.
Willikers, it's almost a block across.
Yes, and it's over 3,000 thingamajigs deep, and it's icy cold.
Oh, my beautiful stuffing. This'll be the end of patio cinnamon, sure.
And we'll never get the Silver Star back. Maybe we'll never have another Christmas even. Oh, I wish we were back home with Mother and Daddy.
Oh, don't cry, Judy. I'm right here. I'm a pretty good swimmer, you know. I got a badge for it. But I don't know how good I can swim in that awful ink.
You can't. This is unswimmable ink. You'll just sink and sink and sink.
Oh, you mean old blotters.
His Right Royal Highness, King Blotto III. Ow, ow, ow.
Well, let's get on with the execution. Come. Where's the royal executioner?
Excuse me, Your Majesty, but the royal executioner isn't here.
Isn't here? Why isn't he?
This is his day off.
Why doesn't somebody tell me these things? Send someone after him.
Begging your pardon, Your Majesty, but Executioners Union Local 33 1/3 would be very much annoyed if we did.
Maybe we'll get saved yet, Jimmy.
What a way to run a kingdom. Here we have 3 very insulting people to execute, and the executioner is taking a day off. I'm flabbergasted.
But, Your Majesty, how is it?
Quiet! Where's my royal secretary?
Here I am, Your Majesty.
Take a proclamation. Quote, be it known hereinafter, and from this date henceforward, that the royal executioner shall not, underline not, shall not take his day off if it is the day of an execution. And furthermore...
Excuse me, Your Majesty, but how can the royal executioner not take his day off on the day of an execution if he starts off on his day off before it becomes the day of an execution? Do I make myself clear?
Absolutely. What do you mean?
Well, the royal executioner left for his day off this morning, and this did not become a day of an execution until this afternoon.
Oh, very well, then. Don't take a proclamation. You see if I care.
If things keep up at this rate, we may have a chance yet, Jimmy.
That's what I think.
Well, why doesn't somebody do something?
I'm sorry, Your Majesty, but the Inkaboo Constitution is very rigid in the matter of executions. I'm afraid we're lost without the royal executioner to officiate.
Well, why don't you just sort of call the whole thing off, huh?
That'd be elegant.
Sure. You don't want to have an execution anyhow.
We do so, and don't you speak until you're spoken to. This here now execution has got to go on.
What'll we do? Possibly we could postpone the...
Hooray! Hooray!
Now, what's the matter with you?
I've been trying for 10 years to remember what my official position is, and it just dawned on me sudden-like. Hooray! Hooray!
Oh, cut the hooray business and tell us who you are, if it makes any difference.
Oh, but it does, Your Majesty. I just happen to remember that I'm the Assistant Royal Executioner. So there.
Oh, we're sunk children. They'll dunk us like donuts.
Oh, I don't want to be pushed into that awful big old inkwell.
Me neither. I'll fight him first. Come on, Jimmy.
No, you don't. Hold him, then.
Leave me alone. Oh, ow!
Now, don't do that again, Blotterface, or I'll scratch you to shreds.
Did you hear that? This little runt says he'll scratch me to pieces.
And he will, too.
Hurrah! Hurrah!
Oh, make that thing stop making that funny noise, will you? And for the love of ink, get on with the execution.
Very well, Your Majesty.
Hurrah!
Just a minute. What's that person doing anyway?
He's a cinnamon bear, and that's his growl.
Yeah, and it scares people like everything.
Fiddlesticks doesn't scare me at all, but I find it most annoying. Kindly desist, will you? And in the name of 10,000 pen wipers, please proceed with the execution.
Of course, Your Majesty. Are the prisoners in line to be shoved off into the immense inkwell, Captain?
Well, sort of, but they won't stand still. Here, you. All of you put your arms around each other so the executioner can push you in with one push.
Oh, dear.
There. All ready now.
I'm awful scared, Cinnamon Bear.
Just be calm like me, Judy. Something always happens.
Sure, like in storybooks. The Marines will come, maybe.
What is holding us up now? I'm rapidly losing my patience.
Pardon, Your Majesty, but I temporarily forgot how the ceremony begins.
Well, you'd better remember in a jiffy, or I'll have you dropped into the inkwell when the royal executioner gets back from his day off.
Yes, Your Majesty. Oyez, oyez! In the name of His Majesty, King Blotto III, I, Assistant Executioner, do hereby prepare to shove these prisoners into the black depths of the immense inkwell.
Well, go on.
Your Majesty will please forgive me, but I can't just remember the exact wording of the execution.
Absurd. Why, I'll have you...
Please, couldn't I just skip over that part and shove them in right away?
Your Majesty, unless the executioner proceeds according to custom, the execution may not be done.
Oh, this is the last straw. Oh, dear, let me see. Maybe I can remember how it begins. One for the money. Two
for the show.
Oh, splendid. One for the money. Two for the show. Three.
Jimmy and I know that one.
You bet. It's 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to make ready.
No. Don't, Jimmy. You're just helping them throw us in this awful inkwell.
Jiminy Crickets, I forgot.
Your Majesty, I remember it all now. May we proceed with the execution?
By all means, and make it snappy.
1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to make ready.
And ho, ho, ho! Who interrupts our magnificent ceremony of execution?
Why, it's the Crazy Quilt Dragon.
Where?
I see him, and bless my stocking if he hasn't got reinforcements.
Hooray, we're safe.
Company, prepare to defend yourselves.
Crazy Quilt's got a company of scissor soldiers. They'll cut the inkable blotters to pieces.
Swell. Let's try to get through and meet Crazy Quilt.
We can't. We're completely surrounded by these awful inkaboos.
They're going to try and hold us.
Up and at 'em, boys. Mow 'em down.
Here we are, Crazy Quilt.
Hold on, friends. We'll break through. Call for reinforcements. Bring out the artillery.
That's just for Crazy Quilt.
Give him the works. Hurrah!
Here he is. Here's Crazy Quilt.
Oh, you got here just in the nick of time, Crazy.
So glad we did. But the fight's not over yet. The Inkaboo captain just called for the artillery.
Oh, these scissor soldiers will fix them all right.
I don't think so. Scissors can raise havoc with ordinary Inkaboo blotters, but they're not much good against the artillery.
Just as soon as there's a big enough break in the line, we'll run for it. Hurrah! At 'em, boys!
Here comes the Inkaboo artillery.
Look, they're big fountain pens.
Right, and they squirt ink.
Gee, look what they're doing to the scissor soldiers. They're slipping and sliding all over the place.
Oh, that's what I was afraid of. They can't cut a thing when they're wet.
Oh, hooray! There's a break in the Inkaboo line.
Come on, let's run for it.
All right, but where we go? We can't just run and run.
Of course not. The Inkaboos will catch us.
Well, just keep running. I think I know a safe place.
Where's that?
The root beer ocean. We'll all jump in, and the Inkaboos won't dare follow us because they get soaked and fall to pieces.
Wonderful, Crazy Quilt. Let's run even faster.
Yes, but what if about Cinnamon Bear? He can't jump in the root beer ocean.
Mercy, no. It would be the end of me and my extra special stuffing.
Don't worry about that. You can all climb on my back, and I'll swim you.
Crazy Quilt, you're a lifesaver.
Oh, not yet, I'm not. We've still got to make it to the beach. Let's go.
Oh, there's the root beer ocean.
I was afraid we'd never make it.
Oh, gee, here come those inkaboos.
All right, up on my back, all of you.
Okay, Crazy Quilt. I'm on. How about you, Jimmy?
Right behind you, Judy.
Me too.
All set for the takeoff?
All set, Crazy.
Then here we go.
Just made it. Boy, are those inkaboos mad.
Yeah, but they don't dare follow us.
We're certainly grateful to you for saving us, Crazy Quilt.
Oh, sure. It was nothing. I just wanted to show you how sorry I was about the Silver Star.
Oh, I'd almost forgotten about our silver star with all the excitement and everything.
Yes, but we've still got to find it to put on top of our tree, or Christmas won't be Christmas.
Well, do you think I've redeemed myself enough to be allowed to help you look for it, my friends?
Crazy Quilt, as one cinnamon bear to a dragon, I'd say yes. What do you think, children?
Sure. Crazy Quilt's one of us now.
And we're glad to have him.
Oh, my friends, I am touched. I don't know how.
My stuffings.
Willikers, what a big wave that was. Are you all right, Cinnamon Bear?
Donkey, donkey.
Jimmy, look, over there. Isn't that our silver star?
Oh, sure enough. It's floating on top of the root beer ocean as nice as you please.
Eureka! Swim over that way, Crazy Quilt, so Jimmy can reach out and grab it.
Right you are, Skipper.
Now, just a little closer, Crazy Quilt.
Oh, what's that?
Wow, it's a big whale. A blue and white polka dot whale.
Odds bodkins, it's Weasley, the Wailing Whale.
And he came up right between us and our silver star.
And he sees it, too. And he's opening his mouth.
Oh, he swallowed it right up.
Well, if it isn't one thing, it's another. This is certainly a pretty pickle for our young friends. No sooner do they escape the inkaboos and find their precious silver star floating serenely on the root beer ocean, but a blue and white polka dot whale with an appetite has to come along and gobble it up. Let's listen next time and see what happens. Never can tell, you know.
For almost 2 centuries, Americans have enjoyed the valuable privileges of freedom. Now, freedom needs each American to dedicate himself to its preservation. We must not allow our liberties to be endangered by neglect of our duties as citizens. During this year of rededication, join with your fellow Americans in reaffirming the principles on which this country is founded and the safeguarding of those principles. Make it your business to see that federal, state, and local governments are conducted honestly. Help to maintain the good morale of your sons and daughters in the armed forces. Learn the facts about all candidates and issues. Then vote for the one you believe in. Make the most of every minute on your job. Produce as much as you can, and thus increase our military and economic strength. Work for better schools and a better community. Guard your American heritage of freedom. It needs you.
You are listening to Chesterton Radio at chestertonradio.com.
From New York, Pillsbury's best enriched flour brings you Grand Central Station. As a bullet seeks its target, shining rails in every part of our great country are aimed at Grand Central Station, part of the nation's greatest city. Drawn by the magnetic force of fantastic metropolis, day and night great trains rush toward the Hudson River. Sweep down its eastern bank for 140 miles. Flash briefly with along and row tenement houses south of 125th Street. Dive with a roar into the twin one-half-mile tunnel which burrows through the glitter and swank of Park Avenue. And then, Grand Central Station. Crossroads of a million private lives. Gigantic stage in which are played 1,000 dramas daily. Now, for the 6th consecutive year, Pillsbury Mills of Minneapolis presents with pride Grand Central Station's traditional Christmas play. A drama you will long remember.
This is Galen Drake. And before we get into our Christmas story, I want to say just a word about the 3 top prize-winning recipes in Pillsbury's Grand National Recipe and Baking Contest. The grand prize was awarded for a recipe for Pillsbury's $50,000 no-need water-rising twists. The second prize of $10,000 was for Starlight Mint Surprise Cookies. And the third prize of $4,000 was for a chocolate cake, Aunt Carrie's Bon Cake. Now, there's $64,000 worth of prize-winning recipes. Recipes won with Pillsbury's best flour. Now, as you know, you always bake your best with Pillsbury's best, and we have those 3 recipes ready for you now, and we'll be glad to send them to you. You just drop a penny postcard to Ann Pillsbury, Prize Recipe Department, Minneapolis 2, Minnesota, and she'll send you your copy. Ann Pillsbury, Prize Recipe Department, Minneapolis 2, Minnesota.
After the train from Albany pulled in, no one, not a single person, actually saw the young man with soft brown hair and soft brown eyes come through the gate. Still unseen, he walks the length of the great waiting room, now strangely tranquil as travel ebbs on Christmas Eve. Quietly, he goes out the door, down the street, and then up the broad marble stairs of the hospital. When the girl at the switchboard turns to him...
What can I do for you, sir?
Without saying a word, he gives her a card. She's startled by the name on it and instantly announces him to the hospital superintendent.
Dr. Mason is here to see you.
Mason? Dr. Mason who applied for an internship?
Yes, Dr. Garrett, it is Dr. Mason from Albany.
But that's impossible.
Shall I ask him about the telegram?
No, I'll do it. Send him in, please.
Yes, sir. Dr. Garrett will see you, sir. First door to the left.
Dr. Garrett. Dr. Mason? You are Dr. Mason?
I'm sorry that I was delayed, Dr. Garrett.
But just 10 minutes ago,
Yes. 10 minutes ago, you received a telegram.
Why, that's right.
I know.
From your mother.
I know.
But, man, Well, look at it. It says that you...
That I was killed. Do you mind if I tear up that telegram, Dr. Garrett?
Well, I don't understand. I was so unnerved by that wire. I counted so much on your being here tonight. Christmas Eve. A night always busy with calls.
You are short of interns.
Oh, yes. Mason, these are the slums. Walk through block after block and you won't see a doctor shingle. Not one. The people here are too poor. They know only one healer. The intern and his ambulance.
And tonight, night of mercy and goodwill, they would have cried out in vain.
Well, now that you've come, I won't have to say to the suffering, wait. There's only one ambulance tonight, and that's out on a call. Wait and suffer. I have no one to send to you because Dr. Mason was killed. It's good that you're here, Mason. It's good.
It's good to be here, Dr. Garrett.
Well, you better get started. Take this slip down to the storeroom. See that they give you a warm sheepskin coat.
Thank you.
And a pair of mittens. From there, you go to the ambulance room. I'll have your driver waiting for you. His name is Mac.
My name is Mac. The chief says I drive your crate tonight.
Crate?
Crate, jalopy, sick buggy, ambulance, take your pick.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You green interns, you're all the same. The first time you spy an ambulance, your eyes pop wide like you've seen a heavenly chariot or something. Not me. I've been driving this old baby for 8 rotten years.
An ambulance, Mac, is a sacred thing. It is a chariot of mercy.
Uh-oh, 2 bells, that's us. Come on, Mason, that's your first call.
234 South Street. 234 South Street. 234 South Street.
Look, pal, help me out by watching out for cars cutting in at the cross streets. We don't stop for no red lights. Look, Doc, what did I tell you? Watch it or we'll both be killed. Holy cow, you new interns. You're all alike. You're always dreaming. You put on the white coat and pants and your head goes up in the clouds.
Why are you so bitter, Mac?
Why shouldn't I be bitter? If it wasn't for you, I'd be home with the wife right now.
You truly believe that only because of me...
Yeah. If you hadn't showed up, this ambulance would be parked in the garage for crying out loud. I would have had the night off like on a decent job.
To you, driving an ambulance is just a job like any other?
Yeah, nothing but. Boy, will I be glad when the shift is over.
But, Mac, this is Christmas Eve.
You're telling me?
This is one night at least you could forget that driving an ambulance is a job. This one night you could look upon it as an errand of mercy.
An errand of mercy? You know where we're going?
To help someone afflicted.
Afflicted with alcohol, you mean? I'll give you 2 to 1 and we're making a stew call.
Stew call?
Yeah, Mason. We're risking our next tearing through traffic to give some drunk a whiff of smelling salts.
Any man who cries out for help, whether he be brimful of drink or empty of blood, his call shall be answered.
Yes, says you. Come on, Mason, make a snack. We ain't got all night. What did I tell you? No good drunk. Here's your bag, Doc.
Thank you, Mac. I won't need it.
But he's out cold, Mason. Come on, give him a whiff of the stuff quick when we blow.
Quiet, Mac. Come now. Open your eyes, sir.
Because the drunk, sir. Look, Mason, here's the spirit of ammonia. Hold it under his nose, will you? That always wakes him up.
Quiet, Mac. Come, sir. Open your eyes.
That's right, Mason. You just talk pretty to him and he'll open his arms.
Where am I? Why is everybody laughing? What's the matter?
Nothing. Just put your arm around my shoulder. That's it. Now, let me help you to stand up straight. There. Now, feel better?
Why, suddenly I feel all right. I feel fine. My head is so clear.
Of course. All you needed was to stand on your own 2 feet. To be strong. Be of good cheer.
Gosh, Doc. That's sure wonderful medicine you give me.
Medicine? What kind of gag you pulling? He didn't give you no medicine. There was nothing the matter with you. You toss off a beer and you lay down in the street like you're out cold and we waste an ambulance on you. I got a mind to take a poke at you.
That'll be enough, Mac. Tell me, sir, what is your name?
Well, if it's all the same to you...
Come on. Give me your name. He's got to make out his report.
Pete Lanton, Doctor.
Peter, you won't lose faith again. You will stand up, self-reliant, and you will face life courageously and with new hope.
Come on, Mason. We ain't got all night. Let's get going.
Doc.
Yes, Peter?
A Merry Christmas to you, Doc.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Mason. Dr. Mason, I'd like to speak to you.
Yes?
Mason, Mac tells me you didn't even open your bag on your first call.
No, it wasn't necessary.
Well, now, don't misunderstand me, Mason. I can't begin to tell you how thankful I am that you're with us this evening, but...
But from now on, I'm not to use suggestion.
Or whatever it was you did use. Please follow standard materia medica in treating your cases. You're not offended?
Of course not.
Oh, that's fine, Dr. Mason. That's your call again.
3rd floor. 19 Water Street, 3rd floor. 19 Water Street, 3rd floor.
Well, Mac, you seem to be good at guessing. You were right the last time. What sort of call is this one going to be?
It's no guessing, it's experience. This time it's no drunk.
Oh? What do you think it is?
A birth? Or maybe a death?
Christmas Eve. And someone is to live or die. It is better that one should live on Christmas Eve. Mac, let it be a birth we're going to.
There's no difference to me, Doc, a birth or a death. I just tried.
How long have you been doing it, Mac?
Like I told you, 8 rotten years, that's how long.
What you call 8 rotten years were truly 8 glorious years, filled with service to your fellow men.
Cut the chatter, Mason, this is it. Number 19 at Red Brick House upstairs. Come on, make a snappy, 3rd floor rear.
Doctor, here! Up here!
Keep your shirt on, we're coming.
Even if you hurry. Doctor.
Tears on Christmas Eve, young man.
I'm afraid you're too late.
You thought it'd be a birth. You're wrong, Mason. It sure looks like...
Wait, Mac. Don't say it. No. Perhaps we're not too late. Tell me, how is the mother?
She's all right. But our baby...
Yes, your baby.
Crippled. Terribly crippled. We prayed for our child to be born on Christmas Eve. We thought we'd be so happy tonight.
Come now, come. No tears. Not on Christmas Eve. I'll have a look at the infant. Wait here, boy.
Make it snappy, Mason. Doc Garrett's always nervous when all the amulets are out. It's only 9 o'clock. Hey, what's the idea of bringing the kid out here?
Oh, let me hold him, Doctor, please.
Of course. There you are. Ah, the child knows his father.
Yes. He knows me. He knows me. But he'll hate me when he's old enough to realize it. Doctor.
Yes?
His arms. His arms.
What about the kid's arms?
They're straight. Straight as arrows.
So what?
But before, they were terribly twisted. Both his arms were terribly crippled.
You can see for yourself the child is normal.
But I tell you, before, when I looked at... I swear they were twisted. And now...
You were under great tension. Perhaps your imagination...
Yes. Oh, my little son. Aren't his tiny fingers so tiny?
And now go in and tell your wife truthfully that her baby is normal in every way. Show her.
Yes. Yes.
You both look forward to a happy Christmas Eve. It is. Remember, tears are not for Christmas Eve.
Hey. Come on, Mason. Forget all that good fairy stuff. This fella's hopped up enough as is. Let's go.
Yes, Mac.
Oh, Doctor.
Yes?
Merry Christmas, Doctor.
Thank you. A Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Mason. Dr. Mason.
Yes, Dr. Garrett, you've been looking for
Yes,
me?
471
only one bell. Go on, Dr. Garrett.
Well, I must speak to you, Mason, about the telegram.
Yes?
The telegram which said that Dr. Mason was killed. The one you said was a mistake.
Did I, Dr. Garrett?
I've just spoken to the sender of that telegram. I have just finished talking to Dr. Mason's mother on the long-distance telephone.
That's my call. I'm sorry, I must go, Doctor.
Now, wait, man, wait. I want to talk to you. Listen to me, please. Dr. Mason was killed. Do you hear? 3 hours before you walked into my office, he was killed while driving to the Albany Railroad Station. And his mother saw him die.
Well, Mac, what is this call going to be? A birth or a death?
I don't know, Mason, but I don't like this one. There's something about this call. It give me a funny chill all of a sudden.
Because it's in your neighborhood?
What do you think this call is going to be?
Because it is your wife.
Ellie?
Is this job a rotten job, Mac? Now that you can rush a doctor to her side? Is this ambulance still a crate? Now that it's speeding to answer your own wife's cry of pain?
Stop that kind of talk, will you? You're trying to make me think something's happened, Ellie. I ain't afraid. So I'll say it again. Yeah, driving this crate is still a job and a bum one at that.
And the 8 years...
Rotten years, wasted years. Could have had my own garage and repair business. I'd be in the chips today instead of...
Yes, you would have made more money.
Instead of risking my neck driving all night, twisting in and out of help pillars, skidding on slippery car tracks.
Why, Mac? Why did you do it?
How many times I gotta tell you that nothing in this whole cockeyed world could have kept me sitting back at this wheel, except my wife. If it wasn't for Ellie,
What's the matter, Mac?
Nothing, I guess. That house we just passed, that was ours. And, the lights are out.
Is that unusual?
No. Just means Ellie ain't home. She's probably going down to the corner as far as the drugstore. Yeah, Ellie walks the dog there every night about this time. And...
Yes, Mac?
The call we're going to is that drugstore.
Yes, Mac.
Mason, you got a hunch what it is. Tell me what it is.
It is not a birth, Mac.
Let me through! Let me through! I get it! Ellie! Ellie! It's Ellie! Mason, do something! You gotta do something! Please! Please!
We will take her to the hospital, Mac. Come, let's get ready. The next call will be ours.
812 East River Road.
Yes, you heard. The other ambulance just went out.
Are you crazy? My wife is upstairs in the operating room, and you expect me to leave the hospital? To go out and drive?
There are people who need us, Mac. Our work tonight is not yet finished.
But Ellie needs me. What do I care about other people?
There are people, Mac, who will cry out for help. As your wife did, we will answer.
Not me. I ain't moving.
It is Christmas Eve, Mac.
Christmas Eve. What a Christmas present I got.
64 West Street.
It's our turn, Mac.
64 West Street.
All right, Mason. But this is my last trip for the night. No, not for the night. Forever. I'm through, do you hear? All washed up. For good.
I'm terribly sorry, Mac. We did the best that we could.
Dying. Ellie's dying. And
She asked for you, Mac. Just once. It was while you were out on that West Street call. Then she lapsed into coma.
Ellie? Isn't there a chance, Doc Garrett?
I doubt it.
While I'm out with the crepe, my wife calls for me, and now she's unconscious. Think of others, he said, because it's Christmas Eve. What are you gonna say now, Mason? You took me from her. You made me go out and drive that rotten ambulance while she...
You went to help others, to bring aid to the suffering.
A lot of consolation, that is.
Remember how the old woman blessed you, with tears in her eyes.
Oh, I can't think of nothing but Ellie's going. You with your big ideas and your fine speeches. What do you know about sorrow and suffering?
All that there is to know, my son.
Just now, when you said that, for a second you got old. You look more than 1,000 years old. I must be seeing things on account Ellie is leaving me, and I'm crazy with grief and sorrow.
Grief and sorrow for you. Yet how much you did to relieve others of that pain.
It's funny, Mason, but...
Yes, Mac?
When you said those words, I thought of my 8 years. The 8 rotten years. And they didn't seem so bad. Not anymore. Now I kind of like them.
Sorrow worketh repentance. You should, Mac. You should glory in them. 8 years of bringing a healer to the suffering. 8 years of rushing the torn and the smashed to the hands of the mender.
Yeah. Your words, they just take the pain right out of me. They just draw it out.
Now that your work for this night is finished, Mac, I will walk home with you.
Go home? While Elliot...
Yes.
Okay, if you say so, Mason. But for the life of me, I don't know why I'd take your word. What a break. What a rotten break I got on Christmas Eve.
You love her a great deal, don't you?
Yeah.
Soon it will be midnight.
A Merry Christmas.
How did she greet you each night when you returned from your driving?
How did Ellie greet... Why do you ask that, Mason?
Tell me, Mac. I want you to say it.
Well, she...
Tell me.
She's like a happy, anxious kid. She'd go out and put on a porch light. Didn't matter even if the weather was terrible. I used to boil her out for it. Tell her she'd catch pneumonia. But she'd always put on a porch light and stand outside there, waiting.
Waiting for her shining knight returning from his errands of mercy.
As soon as she'd see me come around the next corner, she'd call to me.
And now, will you continue your driving?
Yeah. I'm sticking to it, Mason. Even though Ellie won't be around, I'm sticking.
This is your corner.
Yeah.
Look to your house, my son.
Light? A porch light. It's on. Mason! Your eyes! Mason! Mason! Where are you?
Look to your house, my son.
No! It can't be! It's Ellie! Ellie, darling, it is you! Thank God! Thank God! And forgive me. I did not know who you were.
You have just heard the 6th annual Pillsbury presentation of Grand Central Station's traditional Christmas drama.
This is Chesterton Radio, your home for podcasts of works by G.K. Chesterton, plus drama, comedy, mystery, science fiction, big bands, and much more. The soundtrack to your Chesterton day at chestertonradio.com.
Don't turn that dial. This is the right station if you wish to hear about Jonathan Thomas and his Christmas on the Moon. There once was a lad, a wee little tad, whose name was Jonathan Thomas, who got into a fix when he was 6 because he kept a promise. You see, he went to the moon one night and got himself in a terrible fright. He was chasing Guz, because Guz ran away. Guz was his teddy bear, who thought it would pay to chase 2 elephants up to the moon, and he ran and got there soon. And he didn't get cold in spite of the frost, but what he did do was to get himself lost. Poor Jonathan Thomas nearly broke his heart, because he and Guz had never been apart, and he looked and looked, but all in vain. And when he started for home again, he knocked at a door which wasn't there before, and when it was answered, more sooner than soon, the man who answered was the Man in the Moon, who invited him in and said to him, "I'll give you breakfast if you like, for you must be hungry after such a long hike." And then, quick as a wink, what do you think? Crash, bang, bing, boom, till all the people were filled with gloom. And I'll bet you can't guess what the reason was. The Squeebobliums had kidnapped Santa Claus. How the bells rang out, how the people did shout, for it was all so very sad. And then, much to his shame, they said he was to blame. By he, I mean Jonathan Thomas. Why, they called him a spy and a terrible guy, and they made him faithfully promise to obey all the laws and find Santa Claus, which is very hard to do, till the Man in the Moon said, "I'll go too." And so off they went, without baggage or tent, not walking, but riding, of course, and with never a thought of ever getting caught. They went through the land of Rimplestitch, and their trouble began. No matter how they ran, they were always pursued by a witch. But my goodness gracious, my talk is so spacious, and my words enough for 10 men. So please don't you worry, for here is the story. It's all ready to begin again.
Well, you old frightful old thing. What do you say?
You wicked old Man in the Moon, the day will come soon when you'll change your tune. For I'll fix up your tricks with a bag of my own, and then, ha-ha!
I'm giving you fair warning, Mrs. Witch. You'd better leave us alone if you know what's good, as indeed you should.
Attaboy, Chief. Hutcha-cha-cha. Tell her a thing or two. You stay out of this, you awful horse, or I'll stop your words right at their source. And now, I'll tell you a thing or two. I'd be mighty careful if I were you.
Oh, yeah.
And I wouldn't laugh, or you'll raise my wrath, and then I'll work my magic. And you've probably heard that I keep my word, and my tricks are very tragic.
Just what do you want of us, Mrs. Witch?
10 minutes ago, I could plainly see there wasn't just 2 of you, but 1, 2, 3. To give you harm would bring me no joy, for what I want is that little boy.
No, 1,000 times no.
And I say yes, and you may well guess that I'll keep my promise, for it's very true that I'll keep haunting you till you give me Jonathan Thomas. So mumble the stick, and you'd better be quick and tell me where he's at, or I'll get even with you with my witch's brew, which is mixed by a great black cat.
You've gone too far, Mrs. Witch, for I know what to do with you, and by Jiminy Crickets, I think I'll do it.
Go on, Chief. Give him the wikes. Make it stupendous and colossal.
I'm going to tweak your nose, Mrs. Witch.
Oh, don't you dare, or you'll give me a scare that'll be the death of me.
Oh, so you didn't know that I knew the secret of your nose. One tweak and it'll be the end of you, Mrs. Witch.
Oh, please, I beg on bended knees. Do not tweak my nose, for I can't bear such wear and tear. Oh, please, sir, spare my nose.
I'm very sorry, Mrs. Witch, but I warned you, and now I'm going to tweak your nose like that.
Boy, was that a tweak? Oh, was that a tweak? She won't recover for at least a week. Oh, boy.
I'm telling you, this day you'll rue, and believe you me, just wait and see.
I'm going to kick at that remark. And when I kicks, I hits the mark. What's this? And that's from me to you. From one old nag to another old hag.
Well, Gorgonzola, that was just beautiful.
That was stupendous. Gigantic, colossal. That's what.
Well, all right, Jonathan Thomas. You can take off your invisible hat now. The witch is gone. Come on, Jonathan Thomas. Where are you?
Here I am. Right here, sir, if you please.
My goodness gracious and Jiminy Cricket, so you are.
I've been sitting here on this rock all the time. Couldn't you see me?
Of course not. You had your invisible hat on.
Couldn't nobody see me?
Of course he could if he was here, but he's not. He's there. But what happened to the 3 dwarfs? Where'd they go?
I don't know.
I'm Sneasel.
I'm Weasel. I'm Beelzebub.
Is the witch gone?
Of course she's gone. I tweaked her nose.
Bong, 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 the witch is gone, the wicked old witch is gone. And we are happy and quite slapdappy because the wicked old witch is gone.
Bong, bong, bong.
And that's our song, the wicked old witch is gone.
I'm glad the wicked old witch is gone, too.
We're grateful to you.
And to prove it, too, we'll give you a lift.
And a very great gift.
To take on your way. It's a magic spell.
To serve you well.
And all you have to say
is Hans, Squeenan, Squeak-giggly vey.
That's a beautiful word. What does it mean?
When trouble is double,
all you have to say
is Hans, Squeenan, Squeak-giggly vey.
And now we must sigh and wish you goodbye and wish you on your way.
But don't forget the magic word. Hans, Squeenan, Squeak-giggly vey.
Oh, look at them go. Sneasel, Weasel, and Beelzebub.
It's stupendous. It's colossal. It's gigantic.
What does that word mean, if you please, Mr. Man in the Moon? Hans, Squeenan.
My goodness, be quiet, Jonathan Thomas. We're only supposed to say the word when we're in double trouble.
Oh.
Oh, what did you say?
I just said, oh.
Oh. Well, come on, everyone. We've got to be going before it starts snowing. Come on, Jonathan Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Gorgonzola.
I'm right with you, Chief. It's murder. That's what it is. Nothing but confusion.
Oh, hush your face and get up, you. Go on. Oh, we're off to the land of Squee-Bubble. We'll run and we'll walk and we'll hobble. We'll never come back till we've taken a whack at the terrible land of Squee-Bubble.
We must hurry because we must find Santa Claus, or there'll be no Christmas this year. And things will be sad and most horribly bad, and people will cry. Oh, dear.
So we're off to the land of Squee-Bubble. We'll run and we'll walk and we'll hobble. We'll never come back till we've taken a whack at the terrible land of Squee-Bubble. We're off to the land of Squee-Bubble. We'll run and we'll walk and we'll hobble. We'll never come back till we've taken a whack at the terrible land of Squee-Bubble.
Oh, Mr. Man in the Moon, please, sir. Could maybe I ask you a question?
Why, sure, certainly, and of course. What is it?
What's that funny sound?
Oh, you mean that sound? Why, that's the Merry-Go-Round River. Yes, sirree. We're almost there. Come on here. Giddy up, Gorgonzola, giddy up.
Oh, it's Moida, that's what it is. Nothing but bat-braiding Moida.
Whoa, Gorgonzola, whoa. We have arrived.
Oh, that's a merry-go-round river?
That's it, Jonathan Thomas. And I don't know how we're going to get across. Do you think that you could swim it, Gorgonzola?
Ah, it's revolting, that's what it is. Nothing but plain horrible.
Oh, what are we going to do?
Well, I don't know. We'll drown if we try to cross that river. It's full of whirligig pools, yes, sir, and crocodilators.
Oh, my goodness.
Nothing but Moida.
Now, look, it's starting to snow. Good gracious. A feather storm.
Oh, look, Mr. Man in the Moon. This snow isn't snow at all. It's feathers. Oh, and they tickle my nose.
Oh, gee.
Phew.
It's gruesome. You're all over me. I'm telling you, it's nothing but...
Oh, if you please, sir. What about that magic word the dwarfs gave us?
Jonathan Thomas, that is a scrumptious idea. Now's our chance to find out what happens when we say, hand squin on, squee, or hand squee, or squee. You'd better say it for me, Jonathan Thomas.
All right.
Gracious, I hope this isn't a trick. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
All right, all together now. Hand squin on, squee.
Giggly bang.
Well, they've said the magic word, but what do you think will happen? Oh, my goodness. I can hardly wait to find out. So we mustn't miss the story of what happens to Jonathan Thomas next.
That best wish is peace on earth. Much of Reynolds' expanding aluminum production now goes to the defense of the nation, the defense of our free world. But the ultimate aim is peace always. And the great destiny of light, strong, rust-proof Reynolds aluminum lies in peaceful progress. The Reynolds Metals Company looks forward to the day when all aluminum production can be turned to constructive uses. In a future when the inspired hope of Christmas shall be realized. And on earth, peace, goodwill toward men.
This is Chesterton Radio, the true, good, and beautiful at chestertonradio.com.